I'm Lily, and we're ShamRockin this morning. Over the past several months, we have been issuing some podcasts from Shamrock Consultants, which describe and address various problems encountered by manufacturing companies worldwide. And exciting news, we're getting a following. So today I have the owner, John Casey, here to give you a little more background on his company and how exactly Shamrock Consultants help. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, good, good. So, John, a lot of people watching may be hearing about Shamrock Consultants for the first time. When someone asks you what you do, how do you usually explain it?
Again, I think that we use that phrase operations improvement, and I always say with a twist. So, what we do that I believe is quite different is we address process and behavior and really kind of marry the two together. I think what happens a lot of times is organizations try to just address the process, they don't address the behavior, or they are really trying to address the behavior and there's not a really firm process behind it. I really believe in marrying the two together. The other thing I think that we do that I also think is quite different, that's feedback we get, is that we're very immersive. So we don't use surveys and things of that nature. We immerse ourselves into the culture, spend a few days there, and are able to really get some excellent points for not only the organization to use, but for us to use if we're going to go ahead and help the organization change.
Okay. So, why do companies call you? What kinds of problems are they having, or what's on their mind?
So generally, the phrase I like to use is they're struggling to get over the hump or get more productivity out of the same process they have today. It's very common. And a number of them have tried, like, say, TPM or another continuous improvement process already, and just it hasn't really taken off and given them the returns that they were looking for. Also, we work a lot with companies trying to go from point A to point B. So, say a $50 million company is now a 200 million or trying to become a $200 million company. Those are two totally different skill sets overall. Or they're 15 million trying to get to 100 million. That's actually, by the way, a very specific example. And things need to be, the processes and the behaviors need to be much different in the company they're looking to go to than their former selves.
Okay. So, let's walk through what it's like to work with you. When you first walk into a plant or sit down with the leadership team, what's the first thing you're trying to understand?
So two points really. I believe the story. So, certainly I have 30 plus years. So we have a checklist and we benchmark that, whoever we're looking at, against what good looks like or great looks like or world class looks like, depending on what the benchmark needs to be, for the business. Then I always say the story, and that's why we immerse ourselves in is there's a story to every organization. They might be similar, and we use a paradigm to address that. However, there's also going to be unique differences to every organization, every person really that we work with.
So true. So, a lot of leaders, in my experience, describe symptoms, missed deadlines, quality issues, turnover. How do you get past those surface level problems and figure out what's really going on?
And that's where I believe the immersion, combined with the paradigm. So we use a paradigm of, again, how to get to good or how to get to great. It's somewhat of a playbook, you might say. And really that playbook is what we're going to help the organization guide against. And the rest of it is noise. There's the noise is always going to be there. There's a pandemic, there's a supply chain crisis, et cetera. We're going to come in with an unbiased look at what's there, and then we also have the playbook on how to get to where they want to get to.
Okay. So manufacturing leaders are stretched thin. So many people are today. How do you make sure your involvement actually lightens the load and doesn't become really heavy and add more to it?
Great question, right? I think that a lot of folks, that's one of their hesitations up front is, well, we've got enough things going on already. And again, this process that we do, the Shamrock way, the Shamrock paradigm. It's there to be easy steps to help make the leader's life easier and thus make the employee below them or around them to also make their life easier. So it's very simple steps that we help take people through that get them there. And it's so like leader walks that we use. They should be doing leader walks already. Frequently, they're walking the floor, which is totally different. We help them figure out how to make better use of their time, thus productivity.
Okay. And for a manufacturing leader watching this who isn't sure where to start, what's one thing you'd want them to take away from this conversation today?
I really believe that it all begins with feedback. So whoever you use to get feedback, find some unbiased source to give you feedback. There's that old saying that the emperor has no clothes, but of course I think the moral of that story or the point of that story is that no one's really going to give that feedback.
Okay. So I'm listening to you, and I just want to check before we end for today. I'm kind of coming up with an image that show Kitchen Nightmares. I don't know if any of you watch it with Gordon Ramsay, where he goes in and he kind of meets people where they are. He assesses what they're doing. Yes, he does a lot of yelling. You don't do that. But he
No.
also gives them a lot of suggestions. And if they take the suggestions, like they become really successful. Is that kind of similar to your approach?
It's very much so. Yeah, somebody gave me that book about 20 years ago, Gordon Ramsay's book, and I do watch the show somewhat religiously because if you are able to look past and kind of set aside that bombastic personality, I mean, that's show business. We're not show business. He does immerse himself though, and he really understands what's going on in the business. He gives real feedback, and he's a pro. And I believe that we're pros. We've had 30 plus years of experience doing this, and not just doing it, but doing it right and doing it the right way. So yeah, personally, I'm just a big fan of that because they can get very quick results. I mean, frequently within 2 weeks, 2 months, max. Some of these places have anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20% increases in their revenue and profitability. So, his style might be a little unorthodox, and I think ours is too, but it does get results.
Okay, so John, what's next for your podcast?
So what I thought would be kind of fun to do is to interview some of our past clients and not just it seems like when I have conversations with them, it's not just, oh, hey, let's talk about Shamrock. That's not the point of it at all. They have some really good ideas. So for example, I was having a conversation with a friend of Shamrock's, I call him. He's been a client of ours a couple times at Procter and Gamble and at some other companies. And, he just was talking about AI, and there's just some great ideas with AI. And I want to make this forum about sharing really good ideas, not just our ideas, but kind of the ideas of the collective as a whole.
Okay, great. So that's going to be it for today. I hope everyone watching got something out of this. So if you can help us out, like I said, we're starting to get a following. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast, give us a thumbs up. And if you know someone you'd like to hear from, someone in manufacturing, we'd be happy to contact them and see if they'd come on for an interview. So let us know in the comments what you'd like to see. And thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye, John. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great day.